Good morning, my creative writing students. I just wanted to make a quick video to let you know how easy it is for you to complete your creative nonfiction writing assignment for Unit 6. Remember, if this is not completed, your grade will suffer and you will not pass Unit 6. Please take just a moment to watch how simple this is, and then in no time at all, your grade will be where you'd like it to be. Here are the items that are due in Unit 6. If you are interested only in passing the class, these are the items that must be done. It's much easier than you think. Creative nonfiction is the topic for Unit 6. What is creative nonfiction? Well, nonfiction is fact. It is writing about facts, but in a creative way. To write creative nonfiction, a writer must tell a fact-based story in an imaginative way. We still must have the facts: who, what, when, where, why, how. But you must pay attention to the opening paragraph and how you hook the reader and how you share these facts in such a way that it's more like reading fiction than nonfiction. A personal essay, a memoir, an autobiography, travel and food writing, these are examples of creative nonfiction. Remember in creative nonfiction to include sensory detail and figurative language. As you are growing, when you are a child, you learn about the world around you through your 5 senses, through what you see, hear, taste, touch, smell. It is the same when you are reading. You learn about characters and about their experiences through the use of sensory detail or sensory imaging. It is also important to add figurative language to your creative nonfiction piece. You can add a simile or a metaphor where you compare 2 items in a new way. Let's find a topic. A good idea for your memoir is something that you know a lot about, something that happened to you personally, something that you have strong feelings about, something that you care about, something that you can describe in great detail. If it's not of interest to you, it will not be of interest to your reader. To think about a topic, ask yourself each of these questions. Pause the recording if you need to until you find a topic. What happened on the best day of your life? Or on the hardest? Think about a time when you tried something new. What are you great at? Who is the most important person in your life? Why is he or she so important? Think about a time you spent with him or her. What's your most prized possession? Why does it mean so much to you? The greatest lesson that I have ever learned, fill in the blank. Perhaps one day on a vacation. This is not a travel log, but a day or an experience on a vacation would be appropriate. Please pause this frame right here. If you answer each of these questions, you will have a great start to your memoir. We have the who, what, when, where, why, how, which is the factual part of your memoir. Then we have what did you see, hear, smell, taste, touch, which adds the sensory detail. You can add some dialogue, and it is so important to add why this experience was important to you and what you learned from it. Once you've answered each of these questions, you can incorporate your answers into a wonderful memoir, which is an example of creative nonfiction. Please don't forget to answer why this is important to you and what you learned from this experience. It helps your reader to understand better why you're sharing this experience, and it helps to bring them closure as well as yourself. Here are some pre-writing techniques. Answering each of the questions on the 2 previous slides will help. Free writing is one I use all of the time. I set an alarm for 10 minutes and I begin to write. The trick is to not pick your pencil up for 10 minutes. Continue to write. If you have nothing more that you can think of, then say Mrs. Morris has lost her mind. There's nothing more about this experience that I can remember, but keep writing. If you will do that for 10 entire minutes, you will have so much material about your topic that you will be very surprised at how quickly your memoir comes together. John Steinbeck, who knew a little something about writing, has said, "Write as freely and rapidly as possible." When you're free writing, you're not worried about punctuation. You're not worried about what Mrs. Morris is going to think of what you're writing. You're just writing. Here's your basic outline. Your hook, introduction, what happened in chronological order, and what you learned from it. Pretend that you are sitting here in my office and you are going to tell me about what happened on the best day of your life or the hardest day of your life. Start at the beginning, tell me your experience, and end with what you learned, and then write exactly what you would have said. Write in first person, it happened to you. Don't forget to show, not tell. Don't tell me you were excited. Tell me you were jumping up and down on the rocks because it was the first time you'd actually seen an elk. Or tell me, instead of saying I was sad, say, as my hand touched the hand of my father who was in a hospital bed, my heart skipped a beat and I wondered if I'd smile again. Make sure that the reader can see and hear and feel what you're feeling. Chronological order is important and dialogue is a nice touch. Remember showing language, figurative language. This day was as good as. This experience was as bad as. Chronological order, first person point of view. Focus on something significant, show, don't tell. Let's go over sensory imagery quickly. The stunning orange and red swirls of flame burned my eyes. It's a much better way to say it's bright. It was loud, can be said as the sonic boom from the engine it felt like my eardrums were exploding. This is better. The howling dogs sounded like clashing knives in a ferocious battle. You can smell the bacon frying, the salty, greasy smell wafted towards me. Taste the tangy cranberry sauce. I grabbed my grandfather's rough, calloused hand. Make sure that you say the chimney was black in such a way that you can see it. The soot-stained chimney belched out clouds of smoke that was the color of dirty dishwater. Make sure that in your explanations, your audience can see, hear, smell, taste, touch what you experienced. Here is how your creative nonfiction will be graded. Factual statements, sensory detail. Figurative language, something was like or as something else. Was your writing organized? And did you run it through a spell and grammar check? Remember, nothing that you write is ever final for me. If you write and turn it in and you don't like the score, let me help you revise it until you have the score you want. Please make sure to follow these simple steps. I love pink swirls as much as the next person, but when I'm reading hundreds of creative nonfiction pieces, please make sure they're double-spaced, 12-point black New Times Roman font. Once you finish your creative nonfiction, it will earn you all kinds of points. You will receive 30 points for submitting it for peer review, 30 points for submitting the draft to me, and 100 points, my friends, for submitting it to 6.04 Memoir Final Draft. Please take a moment to go through the brainstorming steps and begin to write. Before you know it, your creative nonfiction piece will be complete and you will receive an amazing grade for Unit 6, and we will move on to Unit 7. As always, please call, text, email with any questions or concerns. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next Thursday in our life class.